Into the Dead, Our Darkest Days is a horror game. It's set in Texas. It's set in 1980. Our game is immediately after the apocalypse. We're talking a couple of weeks.
We follow the stories of normal, ordinary people who are caught in this violent, desperate world, and we see their responses as they try to connect or reconnect with family, trying to survive and make some hard choices along the way.
It's not just the characters that are hopeless and in despair, it's the zombies as well that are in that same boat, and everyone's just having to do what they have to do.
The days and weeks before early access were a mixture of terror and excitement.
There was certainly a lot of anticipation. It was the culmination of years of hard work, and it was the moment of truth.
You know, people are going to sort of play this for the first time. It's kind of scary in a way, but it feels good to get it out there because then we can finally get actual people telling us what they like about the game and what isn't quite working.
We're kind of collaborating with the players out there. They'll experience what we've put out and they'll give us feedback, and a lot of that feedback's really valuable.
We had already released a demo for Our Darkest Days, and that had been received really positively. So we did have this feeling that there was interest in the game and excitement for the vision that we were creating.
It's a lot to sort of get your head around. Like you have an idea of what the game is in your head, but now you also have this idea of what the game is from the players, and you have to take that into account when you're doing your designs now. You know, you can't just sort of do it off in a vacuum.
Game vision has changed quite a lot since the demo. The scope of the game is much bigger now. You can go all different places along the city, and we give the player a lot more agency now, which is an interesting design challenge, but there's a lot of opportunities for the player to express themselves, which we couldn't do previously. There's lots of interesting kind of ways that the mechanics of the game and the story intertwine, making the players feel really bad because they have to make a really tough decision. Do I save this person, or do I let them die and take their stuff?
In the apocalypse, I like the idea that, you have to really think about who your allies and enemies are and have to take that into consideration.
With curveballs, which we've added recently, as you play through it, there will be these events that pop up that are quite unexpected, and sometimes they're quite unfortunate and sometimes they're great, like you might find some supplies and things like that. We're constantly looking for ways to mix up each playthrough and make it feel unique.
Well, it's something we always knew that we wanted to add to the game was like an infection mechanic. Just having that sense of at any point in time, you might receive a wound, which could be a bite, which will make your character turn into a zombie. We also wanted to have it that if you lost a character in a scavenge run, that they would have the chance to turn as well. So if you came back to the stage, there's a random chance that they will be a zombified version of themselves there rather than just a corpse on the ground. And part of it was we wanted to make every run feel different. We just want to keep that element of tension high and have the idea that anyone could turn at any moment.
We wanted to give players an extra tool to work with when fighting zombies. We felt before it was quite repetitive, and we wanted to add an extra defensive options, and we decided to go with dodge. It's really hard to kind of balance between realism and what is fun in a game, especially for combat, where we want to portray our survivors as just ordinary civilians.
A lot of what we're doing is environmental storytelling. So our art team is thinking, who was here, who lived here before the apocalypse, who was here moments before your player arrived.
We try to sort of embed different feelings in there through the props design and the set dressings.
The record store, the old school arcade, those things that kind of really help ground this game in 1980 Texas.
There's lots of gorgeous use of lighting. So you have the kind of arcade which has these bright neon colors, and then these old houses where you have the filtering sunlight into a kind of wooden abode.
I like Pogo's restaurant. It's so wonderfully tacky, and it reminds me of how fast food locations used to be.
My favorite location is Hardwick's trailer. I love it. Even though it's a small level, there's something about having this doomsday prepper waiting for you, setting up little traps and stuff. It's a great level.
As they're exploring Walton City and as they're investigating kind of their environment around them, there are little bits and pieces that talk about what actually happened in the city and what's been happening in the world and things like that. So I think curious players are, rewarded for their curiosity, which is important.
One thing that I loved working on was the explosions in particular. That was really fun to play around with and test. It was our first kind of area of effects option to clear out zombies. Just seeing zombies ragdoll flying everywhere was very satisfying.
My favorite weapon is definitely combat knife, stealth kill, and it lasts for a long time. It's a high quality knife.
I think the fire axe in the game might be my favorite weapon. It's just a classic zombie movie offensive tool.
One of the weapons that just feels super satisfying is the frying pan.
Smashing a zombie in the head with a brick. It's just so great and so visceral. And it brings a little bit of comedic relief to the dark universe.
One of the things that certainly surprised me a little bit was just how quickly players engaged with our characters. Everyone picked through the character bios, the pairing bios.
So our characters, they are all created with care. We want them to be different, and we want them to each represent a specific audience.
They have really human traits, which is really, really nice, and you don't see in games all that often, and relatable traits as well.
My favorite character, I love Joe. Joe, MVP, S tier, definitely. Penny, awesome.
I like writing for Penny because she's an intriguing character who has a really interesting backstory that affects her psychology, which players will find out about when her mission comes out.
Barb's just such a cool person. She's just so rad.
It's amazing to see Barb going out there and kicking some butt. She doesn't seem like someone that can go around and brutalize a whole bunch of zombies, but she does, and I just like to see my Nana do that in real life.
I like being Leo and slugging as Leo, but I can't with Daryl's slop. That really stresses me out. The idea that I'm going to take Leo out and Daryl's going to be at home making inedible food.
I don't like Hudson, but I like the idea of Hudson as a character, that he's someone that's just kind of a piece of crap, really, and no one really likes him, but that's the point of him.
He brings community together to hate on him.
What's great about the characters is just seeing the players actually, wanting to learn more about each of them and having favorites themselves. So to me, that means we're actually putting characters into the game that are meaningful and interesting to people.
I mean, at the moment, which is really cool, we're seeing a lot of players write their own theories about characters and make fan art and tell stories about the people, especially in the Discord, like shout out to the Discord. But it will also be great for us to provide some of those details and that life and colour for the survivors as well. We read every single comment across every single platform all the time. Getting to get that kind of day-to-day player feedback while also having like bants with the players and having ongoing jokes with them has been really awesome.
I quite enjoy getting in and actually talking to people directly. I also really like talking about the characters and talking about possible ships and all that sort of stuff. It's just fun. It's fun, and it helps build a community so that people know that we're listening and that we're just as excited about the game as they are.
We have an early access roadmap that we have released for players. It has a list of all of our intended features and mechanics that we've got coming up. We've got things like survivor missions.
These are little quests that each person in your shelter wants to do before they escape the city, and they're all tailored to that person's backstory.
These are specific missions that the survivors will do that relate to who they are, their past, their connection to the world.
It's just really cool to learn more about the people in the game. They can express themselves, and it makes the game feel more personal.
We've got new plans, we've got updates to combat and different kinds of locations, environments.
It's something that I'm really looking forward to doing is really fleshing out the world a lot more, and to be able to go into the soundscape design of each of these places and you go into, so they make them very distinct. I think there's plans to do that in the future, and to have a full diegetic radio system that's built in there.
So having animal companions, that's going to be quite exciting. I think they should really provide a huge morale boost because they're fluffy and they're cuddly.
Spill Zone is probably our biggest plan.
You're going into this horrible industrial hellscape of this ruined fertilizer plant. There's this kind of claustrophobic feeling as heavy machinery is closing in around you. The zombies are lurking in the darkness and the steam, and it's a really atmospheric, compelling environment, I think.
showcase that through atmospheric light and smoke gases in the game to properly convey how dangerous they can be to navigate through without like any protection gear.
There's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of different ways you can play this plan and sort of get to different endings. Lots of stages. We got a bunch of new characters as well.
We've had a lot of people saying that they want a new way to escape Walton City, so I can't wait for people to let us know what they think of that. The focus for our team leading up to hard launch is to marry the creative vision that the team has with player feedback. So it's always a balancing act.
So what we've got the team looking at is going back and effectively what we call revisioning the title. What is this title? What does the road from now through to hard launch look like? We've got a lot of great information from our players as well now that we didn't have before.
We're in a really good place in the middle of early access now. We have so many new features to come. We're really excited to share everything that we currently have planned with players. So stick around, let us know your feedback and help us build this game together.